Boker Tov, Shavua Tov. We are at the top of Chaf Bet Amud Aleph 22a, third line down. We were talking about different types of stories that people had made promises, and Chachamim got them out of the promises through various ways. So we spoke about if the charata, if the remorse was from the beginning, then that certainly helps. Or a petach, if you would have known this, then that also helps. So we're going to speak more now. The last story was a case of a petach, and we're going to continue with various stories and interesting points today on petach and a little bit more. Okay, so third line down. Bar Barte de Ravianai Saba, the son of the daughter of Ravianai Saba. So Ravianai Saba's grandson. Ata lekame de Ravianai Saba. He came in front of his grandfather, Ravianai Saba. Amar le ilu. So he said there was a promise that he made, a neder that he made. He came to his grandfather. He said, "Look, I made this neder. I'm stuck with it. Whatever the neder was." He tells him, "Ilu havayadata." If you would have known, the patchin pinkasech, that they open the notebook, umemashmeshim beuvdach, and they feel your actions. This is talking in Shamayim. If you would have known that the neder that you made, they take a notebook and they look into you and they check about all your previous actions, and when a person makes a neder, they zoom in on you and look into see if you're a good person, etc. Minadart, would you have made a neder? How strict making neders are. You realize that in Shamayim, when we read the Ran, how he explains it. So Amar le lo, he said, no, if I would have known what they do in Shamayim, when I make a neder, no, I would have not made a neder. V'shari, and therefore, he allowed him to get out of the neder. So you see, you wouldn't have made a neder. If you would have known, you wouldn't have made such a neder. So he allowed him. Let's see the Ran on top left. Tepatchin pinkasech umemashmeshim beuvdach. Shemitoch shehu noder. This is an amazing Ran. The fact that he makes a neder, nireh shehu machzik atzmo kechasid. It must be that he thinks he's a chassid. He thinks he's a higher level than other people if he's making an eder. Shelo yikasher b'nidro, that he thinks he's a higher level. He's not going to stumble on his neder. Umitoch kach, and therefore min hashamayim, the heavens, potchim pinkas zechuyotav, umemashmeshim b'maasav, they open the notebook of his merits and they feel out his actions. Say, wait, is this guy really a chassid? And we're going to see another run later that, because making an eder, Hashem already made 613 commandments, and the 365 of those are lotas, says don't do this, don't do this. And now you want to make another neder? Say, I'm not going to eat meat, I'm not going to this. You want to add it. Oh, so you fulfill the whole Torah, and now you want to add more things? So let's see if you're really good. So there's a microscope on you. So would you be comfortable with that? Would you know that? Would you be comfortable with that? And the grandson said, no, that's too much. So that fear is enough to get him out of the neder that he made. If I would have known that it's so strict in Shamayim, I would have not made a neder. Back to the Gemara. 6 lines down. Amar Rabbi Abba, says Rabbi Abba, Mikra, what's the pasuk that teaches me that indeed in Shamayim it's a severe thing to make a neder? Says the Gemara, it's a pasuk in Mishleh. We're not there yet. This is pasuk Chaf, Perik Chaf in Mishleh. We're at Perik Yudchet. And the pasuk says, "Ve'achar nedarim levaker." After nedarim, you check out. Levaker means to, like bikur cholim, is like to check on the chole. So after nedarim, there's a check. They're checking on you in Shamayim. They're checking up on you. So if you look at the Ran on the left side, ve'achar nedarim, the first thin line. The Vakir, Achar shenadar adam mevakrim ma'asav. We check into his actions. And says the Gemara, Ve'af agav de patach Rabbi Yanai le, anan lo patchinan le beha. Even though Rabbi Yanai opened up, even though he opened up his grandson's neder with this, fear factor, call it, we don't hold that is a, that's not, we can't open a neder because of that. Chav Bet Amud Aleph, 22a, and basically the story was a grandson came to his grandfather of Yonai Saba, and he says, I made a neder, can I get out of it? And he says, if you would have known in Shammai how severe it is to make a neder, because you think you're a chassid, Hashem already forbade 613, 365, don't do. Now you said another neder, I'm not going to eat meat, I'm not going to do this. You added another avera to your, do you think you're such a chassid? So in Shammai, when you make a neder, it's very severe. If you would have known that, would you have made a neder? No, I wouldn't have made a neder. So if Yanai says, okay, you're out of the neder, you're absolved from it. So the Gemara brought a proof from a pasuk. The Gemara says that that's not the halacha. Rav Yanai, okay, he did that, but anan lo patchinan lebeha. There are 9 lines down from the top. We don't patchinan beha. So we don't open up with this, and I'm pretty sure the reason is I think that it's a general. Then this could be the master key to all Nedarim, because then it's not a petach on that person's neder. Like if you would have known that you have to eat meat on Shabbat, it's a mitzvah. Oh, I would have. So, but if you would have known Nedarim are general are fearful, like it's a severe thing. So that's a general, call it master key type of way to unlock every neder. So that's you can't use that one. And the fear from Shamayim. Okay, that's again a general thing. I think that's the reason why. Is there any reason over there? Do you see anything in the notes? Okay, I think the following Gemara. Okay, yeah. So I think for the following Gemara, it will shed light on this as well. Okay, says the Gemara, where the little bet is, 9 lines down. V'lo patchinan behada achronaita, and we also don't use the following case as a petach, as an opening. The following case is also not used as an opening. What's the case? The Amar Rabbah Bar Chana, says Rabbah, the son of Bar Chana. Amar Rav Yochanan, the name of Rav Yochanan. My patach le Rabban Gamliel Ahusaba. What was the petach that Rabban Gamliel gave to that old man that came to him to ask him for a petach on his neder? The Gemara says a pasuk, also in Mishlei. This one we did do, Perek Yud. Pasuk says, Yesh boteh kimitkerot cherev v'lashon chachamim marpeh. Boteh is lashon bitui, is a speech. There are those that speak, and it's like being stabbed with a knife, with a sword. And the words of the chachamim are healing. So the Gemara explains, Kola boteh, anyone that speaks, and this is talking about like a neder, when he makes a neder, ra'ui ledokro b'cherev. We should stab him with a sword. But the words of the chachamim are healing. Meaning, this is another thing that not to make nedarim. Be very, very careful. That if it's so careful that as if we should stab the guy with a sword. So that the Gemara says we don't use as a opening. Meaning, if a guy says, "Oh, I made a neder, I want to get out of it," so If you would have known that the pasuk says that anyone who makes a neder, it's like as if we should stab him. Would you make the neder? Oh, I would have never made such a neder. So that's fearful, fear factor type of neder. We don't.
So then the neder is a null.
So it's not a null. We don't use that as a petach. That's not because it's a general fear of that. I call it a master key that works for every neder. So then the whole concept of petach is just out the window. Because the petach is, you made a neder, say on this specific thing, I'm not going to eat meat anymore. And if I find a door for you, like, hey, if you would have known though that to eat meat on Yom Tov is a mitzvah, on Shabbat, etc., then you say, well, I didn't know that. So then that's an opening on your own neder. But if I say an opening that's like I could unlock every door, and be like, well, it's so fearful and Shemaim to say neder, or it's like you should be stabbed for making yourself.
It's the same opening. It's just,
no, but that's an opening for every. Then every nether can be unlocked.
So it's like the key, but this key unlocks everything, and this key unlocks everything.
I know.
But once you use that key for everything, that's it. Now you know.
No,
it covers everything.
No, because it covers everything. Then it gives no value.
But then it oversees the key for the meat on Shabbat.
No, but then it gives no value to any nether. No nether could stand. Then we need to find the petach for your case. And not live with you have to know that there's fear, but that's not not that it's not enough, but it should have been in your horizon.
Every nether has to have a specific
right for its situation. You have to if you would have known this in your situation, but not an overarching making it. There's this very very severe. You should have, and so we're after that point, if I would have known severe, I would have made it, but. That's something that's going to unlock everything, so you can't use it for this. Let's see, the Ran's going to explain more. Let's go to the Ran. Velopat, second line down on the thin lines. Velopat chinan bahadin achranaita. We don't use this as an opening, as Rabbi Bar Chana says. En potchin bezota acheret she'amar Rabbi Bar Chana. We don't open with this case that Rabbi Bar Chana says. Because when we tell him that you sin so bad, we should stab you. We should be worried. And this is probably a better understanding. Is that he's going to say, okay, I'm sorry, you're right. I regret saying that neder. But really, he doesn't regret saying the neder because of the neder itself. He regrets saying the neder because of this fear. So he's not really regretting saying the neder. So that's what the issue is. He's regretting saying the he's okay. Regret. You don't regret the neder. You regret because of something else, and that's not the overarching fear. And that's not that's all we need over here. We need a regretting on your actual neder. Okay, back to the Gemara. 10 lines down or so. The last one on the line is Beha. V'lo patchinan beha acharaita. We also don't open with the next, this next case. We don't open with this as well. Tanya, as it says in the Braita. Rabbi Natan Omer. Rabbi Natan says, Hanoder ki'ilu bana bama. A person that makes a neder, we learned this in Yevamot, a person that makes a neder, it's as if they built a bama. A bama is a mizbeach, an altar that is forbidden. So in the time of the Mishkan, in the time of the Bet HaMikdash, private altars were forbidden. So it's as if you built an altar in a time that was forbidden. So that's if a person makes a neder. And then continuing the Gemara, and if you fulfill that neder, if you actually carry through the neder, keilu makriv alav korban. It's as if you brought a korban on this foreign altar. Unbelievable. That's how bad it is. So the Gemara says we also don't use this as a petach. If we tell a guy, let's say a guy makes a neder, they say, did you know Rabbi Natan says in a Braita that it's as if you're bringing a bama and as if you're bringing a foreign korban. He's like, oh my gosh, I would have never made a neder. So that's also a fear factor type of neder. We don't use that. Let's continue in the Gemara, and then we'll see the run on this. So the Gemara wants to divide this statement into two. Because the first part of the statement is it's as if you built a foreign altar, and the second is if you actually go through with your neder and you carry along and you follow through with your neder, then it's as if you brought a korban on that foreign altar. So, is it both statements that we don't scare a guy with, or is it one, or is it, can we divide it into two? So the Gemara says, Baresha patchinan. So in the Resha, the first part, you can use as a petach. If you tell a guy, by the way, it's like building a bama, you stop there, that level of fear, we're going to see the Rant explain more, is not such a level of fear that a guy will not have charata, proper charata, because that was our worry, that we want this person to have proper charata, proper regretting on the neder that he made. So it's not such a level of fear, because all we're telling is it's as if you built a foreign altar, and the truth is the violation, I think, is serving a korban on a foreign altar, not just building a foreign altar. So it's step one of a violation. So the Gemara wants to say now that maybe if you just say the first thing, it's like building a baba, that's okay as a petach. B'seifa, but the latter part, let's make sure we're all on mute, please. Thank you. The latter part, b'seifa, which says that it's as if you brought a korban on it. Abaye amar patchinan, Rava amar lo patchinan. It's a machloket. Abaye says you can use that as a petach. Rava says you cannot use that as a petach. Rav Kahana matni leha shmata behadin lishna. Rav Kahana, he taught this teaching of Rabbi Natan, and if we use it as a petach or not, he did it in the following words. He said it as follows. Rav Kahana, he taught, like as we just learned it now, that's the way he taught it. But Rav Tivyumi matni hachi. Rav Tivyumi, he taught this case in the following way. Baseifa lo patchinan. Everyone agrees. So the first way Rav Kahana was this statement of altar and korban, and serving on the altar. So everyone agrees in Rav Kahana's explanation. Everyone agrees that the altar alone you could use as a petach, and machloket regarding the korban part. And then Rav Tivyumi matni hachi. Rav Tivyumi taught this statement as follows: Baseifa lo patchinan. Everyone agrees you can't use as a petach the seifa that you brought a korban. But Reisha, but only mentioning the altar, only mentioning the mizbeach part, the bama. Abaye amar patchinan, Rav amar lo patchinan. Abaye says you can use it as a petach. Rav says you can't. Lo patchinan lo bareisha v'lo baseifa. Neither way, you can't use either as a petach. Not even just to say one of the two. You can't. If a guy comes in neder and you say, "Did you know it's like building a bama?" You can't use that as a petach. Or if you just say it's like offering a korban, I guess on a bama. Oh yeah, it's not, you didn't build it. Yes, it's offering a korban on a bama. You can't use that as a petach. That's each one is on its own is enough fear that a guy will not regret his actual neder, but will maybe say it for the wrong, will regret for the wrong reason. Let's go to the Ran. The Ran. I'm mixing up my track. Went to the halacha shiur to Shulchan Aruch and Ramah. Here we go from Gemara to the Ran. Hanoder, the next run down from where we left off. Hanoder ki'ilu bana bama. Ki'ilu bana bama. B'shat isur habamot. Obviously, in the time where it was asur to build bamot, because in the time of the Mishkan, before the Bet Mikdash, it was allowed to build bamot. But once there was the Bet Mikdash, the permanent place for Hashem's dwelling, because the Mishkan traveled in the desert and in Eretz Yisrael. But once there was a Bet Mikdash, then bamot were asur. V'nir be'enai. And now he's going to explain why is a neder compared to building a bama. V'nir be'enai. I see it in my eyes as the following explanation. That we compare this making an edit to someone building a bama mishum de salik adate de noder de mitzvah ka'avid. It's because it's going on in his head. He thinks in his head that the guy that makes the promise that he's making a mitzvah. I promise not to eat meat or whatever. He thinks he's making a mitzvah. De rachmana asre b'mili di isura. That Hashem made things asur on us. V'iyu nami asar on Hashem. Him as well. He's like Hashem. He wants to add another isur on himself. V'ka'amar detai. We tell him you made a mistake. The other rabbi, it's the opposite way around. Lebone bama dami. It's like you built a foreign. It's like you built a foreign altar. Teni derachmana azhare la kruve korbanot bifnim. Hashem commanded us to bring korbanot inside, meaning in the Bet HaMikdash. Azhar, so that on the side we add the word over here. Ha azhare de lo leosif ala livnot bama ula kriv bachutz. Hashem commanded us to bring the korbanot inside, and He commanded us don't bring korbanot outside anymore. Hachanami, so too over here. Hashem already made on us things that are asur in the entire Torah. 365 things are asur. Ki mosif ihu amay de asar rachmana. When you add things to what Hashem made asur, pasha, it's you're making an avera. You're doing something wrong. You want to add on to Hashem's mitzvot. Ki inyan she'amru b'Yerushalmi, b'perek potchim, like it says in the Yerushalmi, perek potchim. Lo dayech b'ma she'asra Torah. It's not enough what the Torah made asur. You want to add el she'ata oser alecha dvarim acherim. You make on yourself asur other things. V'shayich benami hayli shnamish. And this wording of bama is also connected to neder. How mishum the noder matfis bekorban, because when a person makes a neder, he's connecting it to a korban. Because just like a korban was once a mutar animal, then it became asur as a korban through your words. So too, so neder could be like a korban. V'kevan she'en korbano ratzui, and since your korban is not welcome, it's not because you're not supposed to make nedarim, you're supposed to add to what Hashem made. It's as if you built an altar, a foreign altar, and you brought a korban on it. Unbelievable. It's very strict. About
a reason for a guy to make an eder on the general purpose, like.
Yeah, I mean.
It's telling you do not make neders.
It's pretty strong over here, right? So we said that let's say a person is a nazir, if he saw the lady that's a sotah, in the Torah there's the laws of sotah beside the laws of a nazir. Why they're beside each other? And the answer is because when a person sees a sotah, bekil kula, when he sees a sotah that she cheated on her husband and she eventually blew up, he says, I want to be a nazir from wine, because a nazir is not allowed to have wine, in order not to get into that situation. So maybe that could be a positive type of. So there could be maybe sometimes that's positive to prevent yourself from going like I ned there that I'm not going to go out with his friend anymore because I know that friend is going to lead me to do bad things. So there could be it's always positive. Lama said at the end of the day we're learning Masechet Nedarim where people made Nedarim, right? But this is also the severity, because remember we also learned that don't be easy with making Nedarim, right? And so this is along those lines, like really think twice if you're making a neder.
So when you say bli neder, does it annul you from right away from the neder that you just said?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. That's why we use bli neder a lot, because we don't want to be stuck in this. We don't want to be.
So if I say
I'm coming to your house, bli neder.
Right.
Or like.
Or I'm not going to eat meat on Shabbat anymore. For example, bli neder. But it's like.
Yeah, so you canceled it.
You canceled
No, what you're saying,
right?
because let's say for diet purposes. Bli neder, I don't want to eat meat during the week, let's say, right? Okay. So, but I say bli neder, meaning I don't want to, if I violate, I can still do it. If I violate it, I didn't violate the laws of Nedarim.
That's the exit.
Yeah, but that's not an exit. That's an exit That's actually, you said it right in this. So that means you never made a neder. But a real exit of petach is when I actually
But
made
does
a
God
neder.
take that as a
No.
serious thing?
No, it's between you and your own diet, between you and your own.
But if you made a neder.
If you made a neder of it, like I neder, I'm not making
Hold on a second. If I said I'm going to make a neder, then I said, example, I'm going to come to the shir every Sunday. I'm making a neder.
That's not a nether.
It's not, but then you say bli neder?
And then you say bli neder?
No,
So
that's
what are you saying?
it's not a neder.
It's like
No,
it washes it.
No, because let's say you say it to other people, let's say you say it to your wife, so then people know, oh, you're not accountable on your words if you didn't. But in the laws of Nedarim, like let's say you tell us, guys, bli neder, I'm going to come every Sunday. So you have no laws of Nedarim, but let's say next Sunday you don't show up, everybody will be like, hey, you said you're coming every Sunday, right? So I know you said bli neder, but to us it's like, are your words valuable or not, right? But in God's eyes, you're fine. You use something other. That's it. Right. Exactly. Okay, let's see the next run. If you're mekayem that neder, it's like actually offering on the korban. What does it mean mekayem? Well, like you didn't ask on it, meaning you went through with your neder. It's as if you brought on that bama, you brought a korban. It's as if you brought shchutei chutz, the shechita of korbanot outside of where it's meant to be. Okay. Back to the Gemara, where the little hay is. Hey, so I'm going to check the other run over here. Let's look at the next run. Bereisha patchinan. According to that explanation at first, that says that if you say the reisha, you could open up with it. If you just tell the guy it's like building a bama, then you could use that as a petach. That was an original thought. Bereisha debraita derbi natan de'anoder ki'ilu bana bama patchinan shelefi she'ena avera gedula kol kach. It's not an avera kol kach to just build a bama because you didn't offer on it. Im eno mitcharet b'libo lo yitbayesh milomar ha'emet. Meaning, if he doesn't actually regret, he won't be embarrassed for saying the truth. Meaning, this guy's coming to say, I want to get out of this neder. So I just want to let you know, I have a petach for you. If you would have known it's like building a bama, that's how severe nedarim are. So says the first explanation that says you could use that as a petach, people wouldn't be afraid so much. It's not an avera kol kach, because the actual avera is putting a korban on the bama. So a guy would say the truth and say, you know what, I that scares me, you're right, but I still don't fully regret. A guy would still tell you the truth. But at the end, the halacha is, you can't use that as a petach. Okay, back to the Gemara, where the little aleph and the brackets are, the last thing on the line, that's where we're up to, where the little hay is. Velo patchinan, and we also don't use the following case as a petach. Velo patchinan behanami de Shmuel, this following case also of Shmuel, Damar Shmuel. Afa pi shemekayemo nikra rasha. Shmuel says even if a person fulfills his neder, he's called a rasha. Whoa! If you thought everything was bad till now, so be careful in Nedarim. So you can't use that as a petach for a guy. By the way, you're called a rasha. Shmuel calls you a rasha. So, oh my gosh, forget it. I don't want to make a neder. I'll get out of it. That's too fear. So he's not fearing his own. He's not regretting his actual neder. So you can't use that as a petach. Amar Rabbi Avahu Maikra says Rabbi Avahu, what's the pasuk that shows us that a person is like a rasha if they fulfill their neder? And the pasuk is the following: V'chi techda lindor lo yeh b'chak chet. So the pasuk in the Torah, if you stop saying a neder, there will not be a sin. So that is v'chi techda lindor. So if you stop saying a neder, there won't be a sin. That means, but if you say a neder, there will be a sin. Ve'yalif chadla chadla, and we have a gezerah shava. It says lo techdal over here, and there's another place where it says techdal or chadla. K'tiv hacha ki techdal. It says over here, ki techda, if you cease, if you stop to say a neder. Linor. Chtiv hatam, and it says over there, which is a pasuk in Iyov, Sham Rishaim Chadelu Rogez. Over there, Rishaim, they stopped with anger, whatever the pasuk is. But you see, the word Chedla, Chadlu, is right beside Rishaim. And over here by Nedarim, Techda Lindor. So, Chadla, Chadla. And therefore, there's a connection between Nedarim and Rishaim. Person fulfills his neder, is considered a rasha, and if we see the run a little bit down from where we are, v'yalif chadla chadla, gzera shavav chadla chadla. This is what we mean to say. Lindor lo yebechachet. If you stop making a neder, you will not have a sin. Ha'im lo techdal yebechachet. But if you do, then you will have a sin. So, and the word techdal, chadla, is beside Rashaim. You'll not just have a sin, you'll be compared to a Rasha. Back to the Gemara. First one on the line, Amar of Yosef, Af anan nami tanina. We also taught this, that you're like a Rasha, and this we learned already. As the Gemara said before, Kenidre ksharim lo amar klum. Kenidre reshaim nadar benazir v'korban v'shua. We're quoting that Mishnah earlier, that if you make a neder like the ksharim, like the kosher people that don't usually make nedarim, it's like you said nothing. But if you're like a neder of reshaim would be easy to say they're nedarim, then the nadar benazir v'korban v'shua, then it does work. That's just a quote of the Braita there. So there you see that there is a thing called neder reshaim. Nedarim are people that make nedarim easily are like reshaim. The Gemara continues. Amar Rabbi Shmuel bar Nachmani, Amar Rabbi Yonatan, Kol hakoes, kol mine gehinam sholtim bo. This is the Gemara. Anybody that gets angry, all forms of gehinam rule over him. Shnei Amar, as the pasuk says, ve'aser ka'as milibecha, ve'haver ra'a mibesarecha. Remove anger from your heart, and Hashem and that will remove all evil from your flesh. Ve'en ra'a, and the gehinam. And when it says ra'a, that means gehinam. So remove anger from your heart, and then evil will be removed from your flesh, and that's gehinam. Gehinam will be removed from your flesh. But if you don't remove anger, then you'll have gehinam. How do we know that ra'a means gehinam? Shnei Amar, first wide line. Kol pa'al Hashem lema'anehu, v'gam rasha leyom ra'a. So the first pasuk was quoted, was in Kohelet. This next pasuk is in Mishleh, that we also already did. Kol pa'al Hashem lema'anehu, v'gam rasha leyom ra'a. Everything that Hashem does is for you, and even the rasha on the day of his evil. What's the day of his evil? When he goes to Gehinam, the Yom Ra. Okay, let's pause here for a moment. Let's go to the Ran on the left side. Kol Adam HaKoes. So we do have to see what's the connection to, because we quoted Shmuel and now we went to Amar Rabbi Shmuel, with the connection to Nedarim, and then we went down to Kas. I didn't have a chance to look at the Marsha. I don't know if we'll have time now, but let's see. It says the Ran, first word is called, sort of 6 lines up from the thin lines. Kol adam hakoes kol minei gehinam sholtim bo. The person gets angry, all forms of gehinam rule over him. Why? Lefi she'akas mevio lichfor ba'ikar. When a person gets angry, it brings him to God forbid, as if, say, Hashem doesn't exist. Kedamrina Perak Rabbi Eliezer de Oreg, as we say, Masachet Shabbat, Perak Rabbi Eliezer, the Mishaber Kelav B'chamato, if a person breaks vessels through his anger, he throws things, he breaks things, Yeh be'enecha ke'oved avodat kochavim. You should put it in your eyes like this guy serves idols. Because what happens is when you get angry, and that means you think that Hashem didn't will what just happened. You got all angry, but Hashem made that happen. So if you get angry, you throw things in your anger, it's as if you don't believe in Hashem. Hashem decided that's going to happen. You're angry, have emunah. You don't have emunah, you're getting angry, you're going crazy over it, that means you don't have emunah. If you don't have emunah, you deserve to be in Geinam. It's like you're serving Avodah Zarah. So that's why a person, called Koes, that's all forms of Geinam. Shultim will rule over him, because now you don't have emunah anymore.
It's like you're never supposed to be angry almost, is it? Like every anger that comes is basically like what are you angry on?
Right.
It's all written from God.
From God, yeah. So, we have to
They taught that in
grow.
Morocco.
They taught that in
They
Morocco.
taught that in Morocco. They're never angry in Morocco.
Yeah. So we have to work with it. Of course, we're not angels. We have to
Don't make
work
an
with
edit
it.
though, I'm never gonna be angry.
Yeah.
But you can simply edit.
But it doesn't take you out of the Gehinam part. Say Bli Neder all you want. Honey, I said Bli Neder, I'm not gonna get angry.
I promise I didn't mean it.
Yeah, we have to always work on anger. Yeah.
Especially with your wife.
Yeah,
Our wives.
our
Your
wives,
wives.
Now the Gemara continues. It says, not only is anger bad for you spiritually, it's like Gehinam, etc., it's going to be also bad for you physically when a person gets angry. First wide line, back to the Gemara. Velo'od. And not only that, Ela she'atachtoniyot sholtot bo. Hemorrhoids rule over him. If you're an angry guy, you get hemorrhoids. Shneimar, it says in the Pasuk, V'natan Hashem lecha sham lev ragaz. Hashem's going to give you a angry heart, v'chilyon enayim, or a broken heart, angry heart. What does it say over there? Lev ragaz, a trembling heart, agitated heart. V'chilyon enayim, and the destruction of your eyes, v'da'avon nefesh, and like depression of your soul. So ezu davar, what is the thing that gets rid of your eyes, umadiv et nefesh, and like weakens your soul? However, that's hemorrhoids.
What is the tachtoniyot?
Hemorrhoids.
Okay.
Hemorrhoids are, you know what hemorrhoids are?
Yeah, the illness.
Tachtoniyot.
Oh,
okay.
Pain in the butt.
Exactly. I guess it's so painful. It's like, I don't know. It gets rid of
Literally.
Yeah, exactly. Gets rid of your eyes. Gets rid of it. It's pretty interesting. Yeah. So, but that's caused by anger.
Hemorrhoids are called by anger. It's called by stress.
So, yeah, so as you say, your anger, stress.
Anger causes stress.
Yeah. So that's what we're saying over here. That it's not only spiritually, you'll be affected physically by anger. Gemara continues. Ula b'miske le'arad Yisrael. Ula, on his way up to Eretz Yisrael from Bavel, idlavu le Turen ben Echuzai. This story is an interesting one. I didn't have a chance to look further into it. Maybe for next time, but the story goes as follows. Ula on his way to Israel, idlavu le Turen ben Echuzai, accompanied him. Who accompanied him? Two people from Ben Echuzai accompanied him to Israel. Ba'adeh with him. Kam chad shachte lechavre, and I guess they got into a fight. One of them killed the other one. These are the guys that are accompanying the rabbi, and they shochet his friend. Well, Amar le Ula. Then he tells Ula, Yaot Avdi, did I do good? Was I okay with that? He said, did I do okay with
He's
it?
asking the rabbi?
Yeah, the rabbi. Is it okay? Is it cool? Amar le'in. He says, yeah, you did fine. You did good.
The rabbi says,
Yeah.
In is good.
In is good, yeah. So in can also be en, but in is also, yeah, it's good. Upara le bet shchita, and he told him, open up, or you shechted him by his neck, open it up. I guess the guy wasn't dead yet, but the guy was going to die. Open up the wound so the blood will come out fast and the guy will die fast. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Ki ata lekam Rav Yochanan, Now Ula came to Rav Yochanan. Amar le dilma chas v'shalom achziki yad over avera. He said, "Oh my gosh, chas like I helped the guy that was sinning. I helped the sinner. Like now he realizes the story. I don't know what's going on over here, but he said, like I helped this guy, and like I feel terrible." Amar le, he tells him back. Rav Yochanan tells him back, nafshecha itzalta. So don't worry, you saved your own soul. And then the Ran says, because he would have killed you if you would have said, did I do okay? He said, no, you crazy, you killed the guy. Yeah, he would have killed me back. He said, don't worry, you saved yourself. Like, he told him the whole story, and he's like, I told the guy, yeah, you did good. And then open up his thing, just, open up, so the guy dies fast. He said, I felt like I helped the guy out. Like, did I do the right thing? He said, don't worry, you did the right thing. The guy would have killed you if you would have stood up to him. Right? Amar le nafshecha itzalta. Katama Rav Yochanan. But then Rav Yochanan had a question on this. Michdi kitiv v'natan Hashem lecha sham lev ragaz bevavel kitiv. It says in the pasuk, Hashem is going to bring you over there a heart that is agitated. That's meaning all that we just said over here in the pasuk. Hashem's going to give you over there. Over there is in Bavel. Over there is in Chutz La'aretz. You're going to have this weak heart, destruction of eyes. So these people were on the way to Eretz Yisrael. He says, could a murder have happened in Eretz Yisrael? Like this, it doesn't make sense. Amar le, so he told Ula told him, Ha'u sha'ata la'avrin yardena. No, at that time we didn't cross the Jordan River yet. We were before the Jordan. We were on the outside of Eretz Yisrael. The story didn't happen in Israel yet. That's the end of our story. That's the end of the Gemara for today. Let's see the Ran. Back to the past page. Upara le bet hashchita, the last thin line. Sheyamut maher. Open up where it got shechted, so he should die fast. The guy was dying. He said, did I do okay? So, yeah, but just open up his bet hashchita so he dies fast. Nafshecha itzalta. First wide line of the Ran. If not for this, he would have killed you. So you did okay. Katama Rabbi Yochanan v'natan lecha sham lev ragaz b'vel ketiv v'ech gavar ka'aso sheloto ben mechuzah. How did his kas get so strong? This guy from Ben Mechuzah kol kach la'arog et chaver, to kill his friend. It was and it's in Eretz Yisrael. That stuff is not Eretz Yisrael things. Look at the next one. Hu sha'ata lo avrin Yarden. No, at that time they didn't cross the Yarden. Ve'ever hayarden. Lo nitkadesh la'avat ha'omer miktzat kedushot. What the Ran's telling you is that the other side of the Yarden did have a level of kedusha, but it didn't have a full kedusha. Not for the Omer, you couldn't bring the korban Omer for Shavuot. For the wheat, you can't bring from that side of the Yarden. And for other, he didn't tell you other kedushot, other types of laws. So it wasn't fully Eretz Yisrael, meaning. I guess he felt like you're here. He said, no, we were on the other side of the Yarden. It wasn't mamash Eretz Yisrael. It has some kedusha over there, but not fully, and therefore it's not like Eretz Yisrael in its entirety. And this haftacha of that these type of things only happen outside is that's still considered outside. Any explanations over there in the story? We got a couple minutes.
It's all related to Ganesh Hashem, right?
Yeah, the Talmud Rishayim, yeah.
Yes.
Anger management.
It's crazy. It happened a few years back, right?
What?
It happened.
What happened?
Some guy killed in a bus. They were traveling in a bus and just got up. Yeah.
A lot of stories.
Few years back now.
And it's a lot of these types of stories. People push people on the subway and all these crazy things. But the Maharsha says, "Ki Yetzer Hara sholet b'chutz la'aretz yoter v'eretz Yisrael." The Yetzer Hara is stronger in chutz la'aretz than in Israel. The Akas hu midot haYetzer Hara, and Kas is from one of the midot of the Yetzer Hara, and that's what the pasuk means over here. Ki yadati et yitzro asher hu oseh hayom. Yeah, but when you come to Eretz Yisrael, but if you do these type of things in Israel, you have a greater punishment, right? Because you have a weaker Yetzer Hara in Israel, if you do such sins, you're punished more. So you didn't have such a Yetzirah to do this, and you still did it. You still did murder, you still did whatever it was, you get punished even more. Meaning in the Chutz La'aretz, there's Hashem understands your Yetzirah was stronger, so you sinned more. So okay, so I understand you have a strong Yetzirah. But if you're an Eretz Yisrael, you're a weaker Yetzirah, and you still did that type of sin, then that's going to be you're going to be punished more. That's all I got from the. Any more on that story over there?
Seems simple.
Huh?
The information about Nechozai.
Talks about
Oh no. I'll check the Ben Ish Chai at a different time. Chazak Baruch, and we will continue tomorrow night. Be'ezrat Hashem, the top of Chav Bet Amud Bet. Interesting shiur for today.
On me.
Chazak.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Chazak Baruch.
Thank you very much.
Hey, man.
But little study on the story, it's very interesting.
What?
You're gonna give explanations on
Yeah,
the
but Bli Neder. I'm gonna look into the Ben Ish Chai and the Maharal and the story tomorrow. Bli Neder. Shavua Tov. We'll see you, Nisim. Bye. Yeah, no, I gotta write it down. But